It's Angie Atkinson, and today at queenbeing.com, we're going to discuss 6 keys to creating healthy relationships after narcissistic abuse. Let's get started, all right? So, relationships are an important part of life, obviously. The quality of your relationships affects the quality of your life. Unfortunately, we're not taught in school how to manage and grow our relationships. And of course, many of us did not grow up with very positive examples of healthy and successful relationships. And then, once you've lived with or otherwise been connected to a narcissist for very long, you might just forget what a healthy relationship even looks like. But then again, it's really important to develop this as you move forward in your narcissistic abuse recovery if you ever want to have a normal relationship. So, let me give you a few quick tips to help you figure out how to have healthier and more meaningful relationships. Okay, first up, avoid establishing romantic relationships to solve a problem. Often, we found relationships are founded on a problem. Maybe it's loneliness, a lack of intimacy, the need for support, or even the lack of children. So when a relationship is based on fixing a difficulty, there's always going to be a problem. Start the relationship because you're impressed with the other person and love the idea of spending time together. Have something that you want to share together rather than starting a relationship because your life is broken. It doesn't work that way. Number 2, realize that no one can read your mind. It's not reasonable to expect anyone else to correctly guess your needs or opinions. It's not going to make your desire, if you won't make your desires known, expect to not have them met. You've got to take responsibility for taking that first step. Okay? Address the issues that you have before you establish too much emotion around them. So talk a little bit each day, and maybe that'll avoid future drama. Number 3, don't fight dirty. If you're going to argue, do so in a way that doesn't create additional challenges. So if you say, I don't like it when you leave your wet towel on the bathroom floor, somebody could trip on it and maybe, it gets a moldy smell, and quite honestly, you can't dry if it's on the floor. Well, you might have better results than you would by saying, God, why are you such a slob? You feel me? It's kind of a difficult situation, but if you can just gently explain what you want, it's a lot easier. All right. So address behaviors instead of attacking the other person, on a personal level. Remember how the narcissist used to pick and poke at you personally? Don't do that. Number 4, avoid making assumptions. So, you know what? When you have dealt with a narcissist, it's like this. Whether they were your friend or they were your family member or they were your romantic partner, your co-parent, whatever, okay? When you have dealt with them, you know what? You tend to make a lot of assumptions. You know what happens when we assume, right? You make an ass out of you and me? Yeah. Sometimes people say and do things that really have nothing to do with you. You feel me? And if you're in a healthy relationship with a healthy person, you're going to have to learn how to kind of back up a little bit, rethink it a little bit, because in your old situation, it wasn't so clear. But sometimes, really, in a healthy person, they might just really be having a bad day. They might really feel a little bit sick, or maybe they really are having, some challenges at home or work or wherever you're not seeing them. So don't always assume it's yourself. That's the problem. Just talk to them. Ask them what's up. Be there for them. So when you assume that everything is about you, that's when it's going to get really ugly. You're going to be very unhappy. And my friend, the relationship is going to suffer. So find out. Rather than just making assumptions, find out. Assume there's a harmless explanation until you know otherwise. Okay? Again, this is in a healthy relationship, not in a narcissistic one, where it's a different world there. Number 5, accept the idea that everyone in your life is doing the best that they can at that moment. Okay, and healthy people usually are. Look, everybody's got a lot of potential, but sometimes that potential varies, and that's because from moment to moment, life changes, circumstances change, feelings change. No one can give you the very best every minute of themselves of every day. You know what? Sometimes, some days, you're going to get more days, more of the best than others, and then there will be times in your life that they can't give as much or you can't give as much, right? So, number 6, let's roll right into it. You have to understand that literally no relationship can fulfill all of your needs. And, while some experts estimate that a relationship can only fulfill about 70% of your emotional needs, and again, this is your emotional needs here. You're going to have to find the other 30%, excuse that typo, somewhere else. So no one can provide everything you require. Okay, it's necessary to take responsibility for the rest of that, all the rest of the, emotional stuff that you need. And my friend, you should be already to the point where you're handling yourself emotionally if you're jumping into a new relationship. Otherwise, you better keep it real casual, okay? Remember, there are billions of other people in the world and yourself to take care of that little 30% at the other side. If you are in a healthy relationship, remember that relationships have the power to make your life joyful or miserable. Okay, relationships are challenging because people have different needs, different expectations, and different ways of looking at stuff, looking at the world. All right, positive relationships, though, those are well worth the effort, my friend. It will be positive and it will change your life for the better. You have to ensure that you're beginning any relationship for the right reasons. Good, positive, healthy reasons. So if you enter into a relationship to solve a problem in your life, you're both likely to end up disappointed. It doesn't work that way. Okay? Look at a relationship as an opportunity to give and to share experiences so that your journey together becomes joyful and fulfilling. You feel me? All right. I would love to know what you think about all of this. Please leave me a comment below, and if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe. Also visit queenbeing.com, narcissismsupportcoach.com, and booksangiewrote.com for more information on narcissistic abuse recovery, or visit Narcissistic Abuse Recovery online for one-on-one coaching with me, Angie Atkinson. Have a great day. Thanks for listening, and thanks for letting me be part of your recovery.